Welcome to the Deep Dive. I'm Shane,
And I'm Erica.
and today we're looking at the legacy of Muhammad Ali.
Yeah.
And we're doing this through the eyes of a travel blogger named Kecia,
Okay.
who wrote about visiting Ali's childhood home and the Muhammad Ali Center in Louisville.
Oh, wow. So two very different
Yeah.
locations.
Yeah, back in 2017.
Okay.
So we've got her blog post to dig into, and
It's interesting to think about those two places side by side, right?
yeah,
You have this humble beginning in a small house, and then this grand
Yeah.
center that speaks to his global impact.
yeah, it's really interesting to think about how those two physical spaces represent different aspects of his life.
Definitely.
And it feels especially poignant to be doing this right after his birthday.
Absolutely. A little tribute to the greatest.
Yeah, for sure.
So let's start with that childhood home.
Okay.
Kecia describes it as quaint, just 2 bedrooms, and tucked away in the west end of Louisville.
It's amazing to think that such a modest setting
I know.
could produce someone as iconic as Ali.
It really speaks to that idea that greatness can come from anywhere.
Absolutely.
It's not about where you start, it's about the impact you make.
For sure.
And speaking of impact, Kecia talks about how walking through the house felt like stepping back in time. She was really drawn to the kitchen where they had a short video playing about Ali's life.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, they actually opened the house as a museum in 2016,
Oh, wow.
just a year before Kecia visited.
Okay.
But sadly, it closed down a few months later.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah, and as of June 2024, it was even put up for sale.
Oh, wow. So you can't even visit it anymore.
Not as a museum, no.
Yeah, I bet that was a powerful experience, being able to go inside and see where he grew up.
Yeah, you can't help but wonder what was lost when they closed the doors to the public.
Right, because fans can still drive by the house at 3302 Grand Avenue.
Right.
But, they can't go inside and get that, really personal feel for his beginnings.
Yeah, it makes you think about how even these places we associate with famous figures, they're constantly changing.
Right, they're not frozen in time.
Exactly.
So let's move from that, smaller, more intimate space to the Muhammad Ali Center,
Okay.
which Kecia describes as massive and full of energy.
She makes the point of saying it's designed to be more than just a museum.
Oh, interesting.
It's an experience, which seems very fitting given Ali's larger-than-life persona.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what stood out to you about her description of the center?
Well, she was really impressed by how it covered not just his boxing career,
Yeah.
but also his humanitarian work and his activism.
Right, and those were often controversial, especially during that time.
Definitely, he was very outspoken about his beliefs, and he wasn't afraid to challenge the status quo.
Exactly. He was willing to risk it all, his career, his popularity, even his freedom to stand up for what he believed in.
And the Ali Center seems to really capture that spirit.
It does. Unlike his childhood home, it wasn't just a place where he lived.
Right.
It was created to showcase the breadth of his life and his impact on the world.
From the boxing ring to the world stage.
Exactly.
It's incredible to think that the same kid who grew up in that small house became such a global icon.
And it brings us back to that contrast between the two locations.
Right.
The childhood home represents those humble beginnings,
Yeah.
and then the Ali Center embodies his evolution into something much bigger.
Right, a symbol of social change and courage.
Exactly.
So we have these two very different spaces representing different chapters in Ali's life.
Yeah.
What message do you think the Ali Center left Kecia with?
Well, she mentions feeling inspired even though she didn't have time to see everything.
Oh, wow.
She calls it a must-add to anyone's bucket list.
That's high praise.
It is. Even with a short visit, she got a sense of the power of his story.
I think that speaks volumes about the impact Ali had, not just on his hometown, but on the world.
Absolutely. His life serves as a reminder that we all have a role to play in shaping a better future.
Regardless of our background or circumstances.
Exactly.
So we've got these two contrasting locations, the humble beginnings and the grand legacy. What would you say is the takeaway for our listeners so far?
I think it's the realization that legacy isn't just about what you achieve, but the values you champion and the impact you have on others.
Yeah, Ali's story encourages us to find our own ring and fight for what we believe in.
Exactly. And that fight can take many forms.
Right.
It could be advocating for social justice, standing up for those who are marginalized,
Right.
or simply being a force for positive change in our own communities.
It's about finding our own ways to make a difference.
And leaving the world a little better than we found it.
So Kecia clearly found inspiration in Ali's story.
Yeah.
She's always searching for those meaningful connections through music, travel, and history.
And she does a great job of sharing those discoveries with her readers,
Right.
bringing them along for the ride. Her blogs, Kecia's Tour Life, covers a whole range of experiences,
Oh, wow.
from concerts to historical sites highlighting those moments of discovery.
It sounds like she really embraces the tour life in all its forms.
Absolutely. And her visit to Ollie's Louisville shows that even with a busy schedule packed with concerts,
Yeah.
she makes time to appreciate history and culture.
She finds those hidden gems along the way
Yeah, those unexpected connections to the past.
that enrich her journey.
Exactly. And, her visit to these sites back in 2017, it gives us the snapshot in time.
Yeah.
It reminds us that places and stories, they evolve, and sometimes we have to cherish those memories
Right.
of what once was.
That's a great point. I mean, we're talking about a blog post from 2017,
Yeah.
and already the landscape of Ollie's Louisville has changed.
It has, with the closure of his childhood home.
Right,
It
exactly.
highlights the importance of preserving history,
For sure.
making sure future generations can connect with these stories and learn from them.
Absolutely. Kecia mentioned that she didn't have a ton of time at either location, but she still walked away feeling really affected by what she saw.
Yeah, even a short visit can be powerful,
Right.
especially when you're engaging with a story like Ollie's.
What do you think resonated most with Kecia during her time in Louisville?
Well, I think it was a combination of factors.
Okay.
She clearly has a passion for history and travel,
Right.
and those two things seem to really come together in her experience in Ollie's Louisville.
Yeah, it's like she uncovered this hidden layer of the city, a
Mm.
layer that's connected to this one man's life.
And that's the beauty of travel, right?
Yeah.
It lets us peel back those layers and discover something new.
Even in places we think we know.
Exactly.
Her journey kind of reminds us that you can explore anywhere,
Yeah,
even in your own backyard.
absolutely. And it's a reminder that the stories we find along the way, they have the power to inspire us and challenge us.
And shape our own perspective.
Sure.
Speaking of perspectives,
Yeah.
Kecia's background as a music enthusiast adds another layer to this.
Okay.
How do you think her love of music might have informed her experience in Ollie's Louisville?
Well, music and social change often go hand in hand. Think about the role music played in the civil rights movement.
Right.
It was a powerful way to bring people together
Yeah.
and give a voice to their message.
So maybe Kecia saw a parallel between Ollie's activism and the way that music can be used to fight for social justice.
Yeah, exactly. They both have the power to transcend boundaries
Right.
and start important conversations.
And they both require a certain level of courage
Definitely.
to stand up for what you believe in,
Right.
no matter the consequences.
It's really interesting to think about those connections.
Yeah.
It speaks to how art and culture and social change are all intertwined.
And it suggests that Kecia's experience in Louisville was shaped by her understanding of music's power.
Right. It shows how our own interests and experiences influence how we see the world.
And it highlights the importance of approaching these explorations with an open mind,
Yes.
allowing ourselves to be surprised by what we discover.
Absolutely, because it's those moments of unexpected connection
Right.
that make the journey so rewarding.
Kecia seems to have a knack for finding those unexpected connections,
Right.
like those threads that weave together different experiences.
It's a valuable skill, especially in a world that feels so fragmented these days.
Yeah.
It's about finding those common threads that unite us, those shared human experiences that go beyond borders and cultures.
Yeah, and those connections can be really powerful.
Absolutely.
They remind us that we're not so different from each other.
Exactly. And Ollie's story definitely speaks to that idea, right?
Yeah.
He was this global icon, but also a man who came from humble beginnings, a man who faced challenges and setbacks, but ultimately used his platform to fight for what he believed in.
And that message of resilience and determination resonates with so many people.
Yeah, it's a timeless message, and one that Kecia seems to have taken to heart.
Yeah.
She's always pushing herself, exploring new places and engaging with new ideas.
Right, and she's not afraid to share those experiences with her audience.
Exactly. She invites them to come along on the journey with her.
Yeah, it's a reminder that we all have something to offer,
Yeah,
something to contribute to the bigger picture.
absolutely, and that even our own little stories can have a ripple effect.
Kecia's blog is a testament to that.
It is Kecia's Tour Life.
Yeah.
It's a platform for sharing stories, connecting with people, and inspiring others to explore.
And it's fitting that her journey took her to Ollie's Louisville.
Yeah, a place where resilience, determination, and social change are so deeply intertwined.
It's not just about individual achievement.
No, it's about the impact we have on each other and the world around us.
It's a call to action for all of us to find our own ring and fight for what we believe in.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into Ollie's Louisville, we're left with this thought: how can we each use our own experiences, our passions, and our voices to make a positive impact?
It's a great question, one we should all be asking ourselves.
For sure. And for anyone who wants to see where Kecia's adventures take her next, you can find her on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube.
And of course, her blog is at keciastourlife.com.
It's a great resource for travel inspiration and a reminder of the power of human connection.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into Ollie's Louisville and the inspiring journey of Kecia from Kecia's Tour Life. We'll catch you next time.
See you then.